When you mentioned quinoa, sorry, even like butting in because suddenly triggered a thought. We know people who are producing quinoa in the country, Anantapur district or in Rajasthan. Do you think that quinoa is a great substitute?
So personally, I've been using that quinoa and it's absolutely a great substitute. Now, coming to the point that you said, that consumers are aware of a lot of ingredients. I think they were aware of a lot of ingredients 10 years back. Now what they're becoming aware is the ingredients and the source of from where the ingredients are coming from. That is what has become the new trend now.
So traceability.
They need to know where it is coming from. Like I remember the last BW conference, which was about responsible hoteliering, and Chef Gill was there, and he was talking about a mint chutney, a very basic thing like a mint chutney. It tastes completely disastrous in a winter season, and how tasty it is during a summer season.
Which one? What's the...
Mint chutney, sir. A basic mint chutney which is served with kebab. That is only because of the reason that the mint leaf which grows in the winter season is definitely not as tasty as the one which is coming in the summer season. Similarly, anything. Sir, mangoes can be produced throughout the year, but you know that the best mangoes you are going to get only in the month of April, May, June.
But let me give you the converse argument. See, mangoes which are growing in a particular region at the right season, after we are living in a world, forget the carbon footprint issue, that is an issue we can keep debating till Adam, but the way I see it, suppose if it is growing in the right months in America, what's the harm of having it in India? Exactly. If it's growing in the right months in, quinoa in California, if it comes to us in the month when it's grown there, then what's the problem,
But by the time it comes to us, Sourish, it would have the minute you pluck the fruit from the plant or the tree, the deterioration starts happening, right. That's why they say eat the freshest.
No,
even if you...
I strongly disagree. I strongly disagree with that.
Let me finish it. So, as a chef today, there is definitely a movement. 15 years ago, yes, we all were in awe of what the West could offer us. We all was really, impressed with the strawberries and the blueberries and you name it. But the fresh produce today, I think most of the chefs would like to use what is grown locally on our terrain rather than importing it from overseas. Because of
because of the price factor?
Not only, there is something called tasir. There is something called tasir of any vegetable. If it is plucked fresh and had fresh, it has a different effect on your body compared to what is being lying dead, literally dead, in a refrigerator
Manisha,
or a cold room.
I'm playing the devil's advocate here. If you see, like the fruit that we get, even in our homes, they're not like plucked yesterday and brought to us today.
You're absolutely right.
They're in cold storage for months.
You're right, because that is why there's a movement. If I go to another hotel which has recently opened, I went there and the fruit was not really very fancy looking. It had come from Tijara. Sneh is a very dear friend and I know what all she grows. I think today the consumer is also very much aware. Even if you have international traveler coming to you, the minute you open net, you see so many sites which open up on freshness of food. So it's not only that within India we are talking about it. There is definitely a movement which is happening all over the world, where people would like to go to what the local food has to offer, rather than something which has been maybe plucked 4-5 months back and it's come on your plate today. Very sad that we do serve watermelon on our buffets. Right. I am also culprit of that. But 10-15 years ago, if there was no watermelon, none of us would serve. And I see the time coming back again, where a chef will be able to say that this is not seasonal and I will not be able to provide you. And I hope guests will appreciate that.
Like, Abhishek. And then Keith will come back to you.
So like there's certain things like, tender coconut is going to taste best in the month of summer. Sir. Amla is going to taste best in the month of November. Not only has the taste because it grows, nature itself has made itself in a way that it is supposed to be grown in that particular point. So if you see amla, which is extremely rich in vitamin C, the only reason is because of the change of weather, your body needs a huge amount of vitamin C. That's why amla grows and tastes best in the month of November.
I'm not disagreeing with either one of you. But my point is totally different. I think when we are in business, we should, this is my belief. I have to be responsive to the customer's needs. That's how I grow my business, I don't care what my consideration or my beliefs are. I go by what my consumer asks for. And the consumer, unfortunately, around the world, overwhelmingly demands all fruits 365 days a year. This is cold, hard fact reality. And the sooner the industry realizes it, it's better for them to avail the opportunity to make money. I think in business, we are there to serve the consumer, meet his demands, and make money from it.
Hold on,
and let me complete the point regarding your statement that you get a mango from Maharashtra and that is fresh. I'm sorry. You can get an imported mango in the month of January from Australia. It will be air flown in. And the thing is, it is going to be fresher than the mango you get from Maharashtra. And I'll explain to you why. Because more than likely it is coming from a farm where they have better orchard management practices, where they are going to pre-cool and handle it extremely carefully from the time it is harvested. I'm not talking of a premium mango grower in India, but 95% of the mangoes grown in India do not enter the cold chain at all. So even if it has taken 1 week, the death factor you're talking about, absolutely true. This product will be 20 times more dead than what is coming from Australia. Just
what about apples?
It's same thing. Certainly, I'm saying at this point on the year, the apple that we are bringing is certainly fresher than what is the domestic apple.
So what is the difference between the time of plucking and the time it reaches the market?
Products die with temperature. The whole thing with this is what the cold chain management and logistics exercises is about, managing the temperature. If people are managing the temperature from the time it has been harvested, it is maintaining its freshness. And that is what is done. So domestically, unfortunately, very small percentage of our fruit goes through that exercise. More and more investments are going.
So, because our farm sector really doesn't have that kind of money to invest in.
So the freshness is a relative term. One has to, it is not about when it is picked, it is how it has been handled from when it is picked and what has been delivered to your door. So you need to understand that.
Now I'll tell you, let's go from Michael. Okay. I'll give each of you 1 or 1.5 minutes each. You make your statement. I won't intervene unless I get very excited about something. So I'll have to, Yeah.
I agree with Keith on the point that, yes, customers do want it 365 days of the year. But as a chef, we also have a responsibility of giving the customer something healthy at the right time of the year. So we cannot go overboard with giving it to them 365 days of the year. We have to be careful because it's our moral responsibility. Yes, the customer may want it, but as a chef, I have moral responsibility to give them the right food at the right time of the year because it's the right ingredient for their constitution at that time of the year. So,
okay, yeah, fine. Abhishek, you wanted to say something?
I think Chef has got it absolutely right. I think it's our moral responsibility to not only serve what is currently in the season, but to also educate our guests also. You know, you have to politely educate the guests also that this is what is available at this particular point of the season and it will taste best. I remember I was working with this chef from Australia. His name was Chef Donovan Clayton. He had come last year in February.
Yeah,
and
the amount, chef.
Exactly, sir. Yeah. And the amount of ingredients that he was only promoting was from the Tasmanian region of, of Australia. You know, he had lemon myrtle, he had mountain pepper. He was only promoting those ingredients. So it is also important that you promote ingredients which are from your land and also promote things which are locally produced. So that is also going to be the way forward. Of course, we
no
can...
No conflict. Apples and walnuts, no conflict.
So definitely, we can't do away with the Californian walnuts. I'm sure that we all enjoy using them and ensuring that they are part of our food. They are of great quality.
Yeah, I think, sorry to be butting in like this, but I think, Keith, there is, I see a marketing challenge emerging. I don't know whether you see it, but, because increasingly chefs are talking in a very different language than they were even 5 years ago, 2 years ago, They're all talking about local sourcing, local ingredients, seasonal ingredients, So maybe it is time for you to change your marketing strategy. I feel, this is purely, you can reject my hypothesis. From a health perspective, which we all know about walnuts and their health benefits, everyone knows, From a health perspective to this whole idea, especially in the community, of seasonal versus non-seasonal, frankly, I don't know whether this argument, I'm not a big, I support seasonal food, but I believe that you know, if the Washington apples have been grown in the season where Mother Nature intended them to be grown in America, and they come to India, or if walnuts are grown in a particular season, and you know, they're coming to you almost on time, what's the harm, you know? So that is, I think, the dialogue you must have with a supplier like Keith, you know, or I may be completely wrong. I don't know, Neeraj, what do you...
I mean, localization and sustainability is the future, you know, but when it comes to a special cuisine, you know, like for example, if you want to use a Corre de Boa tomato, which you can't grow in India, you have to get it from Italy. So it's also dependent on the cuisine, it's also dependent on the kind of restaurant you're running, it's also dependent on what is your target audience, what is your target clientele. If like somebody is walking into an Italian restaurant, for example, he comes with the expectation, you know, that when he goes to get authentic ingredients. And then, you know, some of the ingredients which is there, you know, you can't really grow in India.
Like hazelnuts.
Like you talk about quinoa. Yeah. You know, so the quinoa which is grown in Maharashtra, right. The grain size is very small. Right. Very small. Yeah. So it's not the real quinoa, you know, so I mean, the quality of ingredient matters, you know, it's like, it's also dependent on the kind of soil. So there are a lot of factors which are involved in it. So, yeah, so I mean, there are few things which can be grown locally, and your menu can be based on those ingredients. But again, to keep the authenticity, you have to get the ingredient right, you know. So, I mean, yeah, this is what I believe.
Manisha?
I think 5 to 10 years from today, of course, our farming sector is not really so advanced, where the grading, the selection, all that happens
is a problem, you know,
at the harvesting level. Maybe 10 years from today, we will be there where we will be using, most of us would be using our produce, which is produced in our country. In my hotel, we do not use Washington apple. In the rooms, we don't put Washington apple. Because last, maybe 2-3 years ago, I used to constantly get feedback. A lot of guests would ask me, there's wax on it. And of course, we got it certified. It was edible, it was food safe, there's nothing wrong with it, but the guests were not convinced. So now what we started putting Kinnur apples, when in season. Whatever vegetable is in, fruit is in season, we put that. So there's definitely an awareness, like you very rightly said, that we all will have to be aware of this, that there is a shift in dining habits. People are going towards what is more healthier because of there's so many diseases which are coming. So everybody wants to know what they're eating. And that is where I think I come from, and we will be using more and more local produce in times to come.
Yeah, I think I agree with Chef Manisha and Chef Neeraj. The thing is that I will be, you know, on the contrary what Mr. Keith said, we are also not sure about the apples which are imported. They also sit in the containers for a long time at our ports. So, I mean, yes, they have wax on them, they're okay to eat, but at the same time, there are batches and batches which you get are, you know, rotten. So, just not to have continuity in a thing, it's better to have something seasonal and say, we don't have a continuity because it's seasonal. And saying that we have Washington apple, and then suddenly you say, I mean, that's an example. You say, no, I'm sorry, the batch is not good. So that is why, I mean, it is for you to choose that which restaurant will have a premium product, which is imported, and which will have a local produce. With time, what I see now is like farmers and, you know, very young guys who've started growing, you know, fruits, vegetables and herbs in Delhi and in and around Delhi also. And they are inviting chefs, they are giving them space in their farms and saying, you say what you want and we'll grow it for you. So, you know, yes, it is at a very small scale, but with time, things are going to get better for local produce.
Great. Keith, would you like to wind down the discussion?
No, I think, I mean, I don't want to limit to just, I think the issue was related really to the logistics and the thing for the industry as a whole. So it's not just related to what product I'm talking about. I think we, as an example, we also thought, for example, how the hotels have used the foreign exchange issue to save on the duty on the liquor. We have found that that's not been used as effectively in things beyond liquor.
Right.
You know, I mean,
I think that's a big issue. Why do they only want to save, use that, you know, import duty license only for liquor, you know, and for cars?
Right, there are a lot of foods which, you know, hotels are, and I think it has to do with consolidation of volume and vendors being able to get commitments from hotels. That's what I hear. It's good to see what Chef Marchetti are doing with the whole carcass and, processing the sausages and the different cuts here. That's an example of how consolidation is happening and people are beginning to do these things. And I think a next step evolution is he could possibly be doing that in an export processing zone and being able to supply to the hotels under a duty exemption to bring further costs down. So I think it's an evolution and growth. I see more and more imported products being sold at hotels, and I think it really has to do with the customer demand. That's going to create more and more, as more and more F&B outlets get more sophisticated in terms of what they're offering to their consumers, the volumes will build and entrepreneurs will consolidate and be able to supply you at a better price, because the pressure is there to deliver at a better price.
Nitin Nagrala, are you here? Yeah. I think there is a ground now to have a three-way exchange between procurement managers, vendors, and BW hotelier and chefs. We should have an entire procurement conclave. What do you say? I think there are a lot of issues, I think, which are going unaddressed. And in the changing market, we should, I think, look at, procurement from a, 360-degree point of view. I think, I hope you found this session interesting. And there is, immediately after this, there is a buyer session, seller session happening at Dia, which is downstairs. You can also, if you're feeling a bit peckish, there'll be nice food being served at Dia. So please go down to Dia, meet our vendors, get to know a little more about their products, I'm sure you will all love that little experience.